welcome everyone. This workshop is about gamified cyber. I hope you guys are having a really great summer. Thank you guys for joining me. I was doing this with another member, Brandon, but he is not able to join us. Maybe if things turn up pretty good, he can join us later on. But before I kind of go into it, my name is Rutvik. I am a rising junior and I'm one of the workshop instructors here at RUSEC. And yeah, I'm glad that you guys have joined me on this Thursday evening. So, before I get into it, it's like a quick little overview. So, I'll go over what gamified cyber means, and then I'll be talking about HacktheBox, TryHackMe, OverTheWire Bandit, KC7, and picoCTF. And these are just one of the five websites that are one that are popular, not just within the club, but two also like in the industry as well. Like a lot of these are very industry recognized. So I'll be going over them just so that you guys can get started with your cyber learning journey because these websites kind of promote that hands-on learning and the very strong conceptual knowledge that you need to, be a cyber professional. So gamified cyber, my definition for it is a cyber platform that is presented in like a video game kind of context, right? So you are doing these certain modules, these certain labs, and then you kind of get these XP points, you unlock kind of cool things. So like it's just in that video game format just to like say if you're a student or a user who's kind of bored of that classical watch the videos, take notes kind of method, like this kind of changes the game a little bit. It helps them learn a little bit more better. And there are a lot of benefits of it. So starting off with just like the context of us being at Rutgers, where we don't have a very concrete cybersecurity department, cybersecurity major or curriculum, and cybersecurity is a very hands-on. It's a hands-on field. Like we need to, know how to do a lot of technical skills, and a lot of these platforms do promote that, and it builds the very strong foundational practice to be prominent in this field, not just for those technical skills but also like your conceptual skills such as networking and the web and stuff like that. And so these five websites, they do kind of go over it. And another good thing is that they're all beginner friendly. They expect you to be, and they are very different from one another's. Some can be the same. And yeah, so first one I'm gonna kind of go over is Hack the Box. Now, this is probably the most industry recognized one, meaning like there's so many partnerships with Hack the Box. Like they set up shop at a lot of conferences. I know when I went to B-side South Jersey, they had their own table there, and like they were giving out stickers. There were employees from Hack the Box talking about the events, upcoming rooms, challenges and whatnot. So it's really cool that they do that. So it promotes as many skills like ethical hacking, defensive skills in these simulated environments. So most of the time you're going to be booting up a virtual machine and it gives you an IP address, and then you on your own virtual machine you kind of SSH into it, and then you go through a whole bunch of questions. It tells you to do a whole bunch of commands, and then you're basically finding these flags which are just like phrases, and then once you find those flags, you just copy and paste it into Hack the Box, so then it kind of passes you through. And that just goes to show like, hey, like one, you got that part correct, and two, it also helps you with yeah, it helps you with learning because then like you're working with many different commands. I know the very first room and the starting point is like a telnet machine, and all they have you do is just like SSH into it, and then you go through like the file directory, and then you look for like a text file that says flags.txt, and then you uncover the flag. I would like to demo with you, but if you guys know me around, I'm still having that virtual machine problem. I haven't been able to fix it, and I just tried doing it like a few minutes ago too, so it didn't work out. And so the prominent features, it has Hack the Box Academy, it has Sherlock's, and this is mainly like their defensive machines and their defensive challenges. They also have a lot of like pro labs and pro machines. Some of these are restricted by a paywall, which is kind of like the negative towards it, but it is well worth it. We have a lot of alumni, we have a lot of members in the club right now who have racked up so many points, so much experience on Hack the Box, so they can attest to it very well. And yeah, so regarding challenges, they have like these little challenges, and they're all like distributed into different kind of cyber topics. So there's like web and crypto challenges, there's OSINT, open source intelligence, Then there's Pawnbox, reverse engineering, mobile and hardware. And then like how I kind of mentioned how they're so big in the industry, they have events such as Cyber Apocalypse, and they also run their own CTF. I think it happened during the summer. I don't remember, but yeah, like they are very active in the community and they always try to get new learners. So this is TryHackMe, and I'm gonna go over this one. So I remember when I was starting off, like a really new in the club, David was there and he prompted me to go to TryHackMe to, get my basics down because I wasn't, learning like the big basics that I really need in cyber. So it was really helpful and I'll kind of go over it. So, yeah, so this is like my account right here, and I've had like jumped around rooms, and I'll kind of explain that it kind of goes along with like the negative part of TryHackMe, but yeah, so they have like introductory pats. I remember last year when I was on TryHackMe, like they gave me like a quiz. I completed it, and then they put me in like the pre-Cyber 101 pat. I think they just merged both pats. I haven't been on here in a while, but so they did that to like first kind of get your like basic networking concepts down, like OSI model, TCP, the TCP three-way handshake, and then they go into web exploits and then some Linux basics and Windows basics. So they went through that a little bit. Then I went on to the Cybersecurity 101 path, and if I can kind of pull up what the path looks like so that you guys can get an idea. So yeah, so this is like the very first few rooms right here. This is the very first one. It kind of goes over like by the name. It's like the Office of Cybersecurity intro. And then so it's a mix of modules and virtual machines. What they have you do is they have you go through a few modules and you kind of learn like the topic at hand. So this one talks about like the difference between a someone working on blue team and someone working on red team. They give like the bio of it, and then you put in the name of like the person who's the actual like red teamer here. And then this is like the lab part. I'm gonna open up the virtual machine. Yeah. So they kind of take you through like what HacktheBox does with like the flags. They take you through like a certain scenario and then they have you do like all these things. So right now um we have Mrs. G's Benjamin's banking account right now, and then so the first thing they ask just to make sure like you're connected to the VM is like they ask for the account number 881, and then like I kind of did this already, so that's why the answers are more correct. But yeah, so you get the correct answer, and then it prompts you to go to the next task, and then yeah, so now what they're asking us to do is open up the terminal right here if it allows me to do that. I'll minimize this and then okay, yeah, cool. So they have me open up this terminal here, and then they're gonna want me to run this command right here, and then they show you like the exact argument that command needs to be successful, and then they're like, hey, how about you run it on the URL of that fake banking website that you were just on. All right, so just let that run, and then yeah, so the output is these two URLs right here, and then kind of like the things I was talking about, like the flags and stuff. It asks you like, hey, it found two URLs. Which one of these is more likely to give us like access to the internal tools? And then yeah, look at the URLs. Sometimes I know I like I said like I did answer these, but usually it has like the different like amount of blanks, so you can kind of like brute force your way into guessing the correct answer. And then I mean that's not like a bad thing or anything. Like if you guess the answer, great, and then you can kind of backtrack and then figure out like why it is the answer. So that's something like that's kind of cool. And then yeah, so what I did was earlier, like when I copy and pasted that answer, I copy and pasted this URL, and then I went back into that fake bank website, and then what it wanted us to do is just input that because it's unsecure, and then it wanted us to deposit like funds into that 8881 account, and then you can just go crazy. Like you can, yeah, just deposit yourself like a million, and then yeah, whatever. And then this like the flag I was talking about. It whenever it's like signaling you to like end the room. It gives you a certain flag to like put in. This part's new. I don't really recognize this question right here, but it kind of gets like the very beginner person to like get thinking about cyber and like what seems right or anything. So it's pretty cool room to like get started with. Now the biggest con I do have to say is that it's heavily restricted by paywalls right now. I remember when I was like really locked in on TryHackMe last summer, what ultimately kind of stopped me was the fact that like the cybersecurity, actually not even the 101 path at the time, but like the pre-cybersecurity path, it was like there were some rooms where I could only do the first one of the module, and then everything else was restricted by a paywall, and it was really like tedious and annoying. So my way of kind of like beating around the bush was like even Try Hack Me themselves or like other YouTubers, they did walkthroughs over it, and that's how it kind of got the notes in the modules or whatever. But then when it came to like the virtual machines, obviously I didn't have access to those, so I had to watch them kind of go through it, and like sure, like I'd be like following along, but I definitely did like lose a lot of like more hands-on experience as I could. And so I mean if you're willing to pay for like the subscriptions that they have, like feel free because they do provide a lot of good information and a lot of good labs, especially the Active Directory one. I know a lot of people on social media when they want to do Active Directory projects, they go to like the Active Directory room on TryHackMe. It's in the Cybersecurity 101 path. They go on there and then they don't even follow along with like what the module has to say. Like they set up their own like stuff on Active Directory, and I've seen a lot of people do it and put it on the resume. So it's a cool thing to do. I wouldn't say like just putting try hack me down as a whole project or whatever. Like that's not what I'm trying to say there, but like it gives you a cool, unique opportunities that you can go through if you have a paywall. But then again, if you're really looking to just like hone in on the conceptual stuff, I suggest like there's definitely better ways. Like you could study for the Security Plus, maybe not with the intentions of taking the exam, but heavily studying it there just so you have your strong fundamentals. I know a lot of people in the club they've studied for and taken the exam, but like in turn they've constructed and strengthened their like base knowledge on security and whatnot. So yeah. And then again with the challenges of events like HacktheBox, TryHackMe has their own CTFs as well. And yeah, that's it for TryHackMe for now on my end. And so over the wire Bandit. Now I know Adam and Madox, they're in this room and they've talked a lot about it to me. OverTheWire Bandit is basically it's a very beginner oriented website where it teaches you like the Linux basics. I'll go over to it right now. So this is what the website looks like, and you have all these different levels. Like it goes down pretty far, and it starts you off by just SSHing into like their network to like kind of play around with the games, and it's gonna prompt you to like do run this command, run that command, and then like each one kind of connects to the other. So for you to move on to like this first level, you're gonna have to uncover something in the first one. And I know like I remember Adam and Maddox saying like it helped them a lot with their Linux skills and like what commands they remember, and also like being more efficient and being more powerful with Linux, being more powerful with their terminal and their command line and everything. So this is something I really suggest you guys doing. Hopefully you guys were at the virtual machine setup workshop that we did a few weeks back, so that yeah, you guys have that set up and then you guys can start messing around with it. And yeah, okay, so this is my favorite one out of all of them. It's KC7. I got introduced to it fairly recently by a manager right now, and so it is another gamified CTF platform. It's like HacktheBox. I'll show it to you right now. One thing that is kind of funny is like it's heavily brain rotted for some reason. I don't know why. Like yeah, my username is Skibidi Attacker 8852. I promise you I did not put that down as my thing. So like it has that aspect to it, just makes it fun. It makes it, welcoming. And then the very first thing, like I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2024 when Drake and Kendrick Lamar were beefing, I guess that's when they created this room because it's the intro room and it has like a fake version of Drake, fake version of I guess Future in this case, the rapper Future. It has like fake versions of them, and what you go through is you go through like a KQL database that's kind of like the database of like certain seams, and then you're learning to run a few commands to like find the different users in your like company. Like you're in the role of like a SOC analyst or incident response person, kind of going through what do you call it? You're kind of going through like all these different like questions that they have. So yeah, like if you kind of read through this like readme thing, it's pretty funny. Yeah. So it does that, and then like kind of what I showed with TryHackMe, you just type in certain commands and you keep on going. And then yeah, so it's cool. It's definitely my favorite one because it's also there's also really other cool rooms that are not just like KQL that you learn. There's other stuff, but the biggest benefit is, and I really love it about this is the fact that it's actually it's totally free. Like no aspect of it is behind a paywall, and it's because like it's one of the main things that they tell you in like the intro to the website, that they have like no, they say like they're not backed up by any big investor. They don't have intentions of making revenue off the site, so that's why they don't have like subscription services or anything. They're purely just for like for the love of the game. They purely want to help out like anyone trying to get into the field and learn KQL, learn just like what it is like to be like a SOC analyst or an incident response person, and they're very friendly about it. They have like a Discord setup that you can help out and that you can connect with like the community there. A lot of people have been on it, and so like notable rooms I definitely suggest like the rat beef thing I was talking about. That's like the first intro thing to get you into it. And then there's something called a scandal in Valdoria. That's like that's it's just crazy. It's like you go through like a phishing attempt that went successful on your company, and you're pivoting to different areas, you're pivoting off of different people, different activity and stuff. And then another beneficial thing is like I mentioned about like how it's not just only KQL. Yeah, so here I could show you a few ones. So if you guys are interested in, I don't know like who all are very beginners in this meeting at the moment, who all are like kind of exploring what they want to do in cyber specifically. There is so if you want to be someone like in cyber threat intelligence, they have a whole room for yeah, like was they have rooms for virus total. If you're unfamiliar with virus total, it's a tool that you can kind of throw in indicators of compromise, which are like IP addresses, domains, file hashes that are picked up from like adversarial behavior, and you can see how malicious it is. So you could throw it in, and then like it scans against like 70 plus engines, and it shows like whether this thing is malicious or not, and like it's been used in malicious purposes. It just depends on like what actors have used it and stuff. So this room right here, it goes over the fundamentals of virus total. So it takes you through like it gives you like a IP address, and then it tells you like, hey, look in this section, and then kind of pivot off of this. So like it that IP address might connect to a, or it might resolve to a certain domain, and then you're looking at like who this domain was it was set up by, and like who also like where's the certificate associated by, who's the compiler and stuff like that. It's really cool. Unfortunately, I'm like stuck on the very last question. It's I don't know why. It's something about like the parent process. It's like the child process thing. I don't know. It goes really in depth and it's very beneficial. So if you're want to get into cyber threat intelligence, and you want to like learn about like indicators of compromises, triaging, pivoting off of different IOCs, it's a really good tool to learn. This is a really good resource to learn that tool. I know it's in like a very odd place. Like I wouldn't think it's on KC7. When my manager kind of told me about it, like he prompted me to like all these rooms. I didn't think that Virus Total would have like, or like they'd have fundamentals on Virus Total on here. So it's really cool. I heavily suggest it. And then if you're also into like reverse engineering or like decoding, there's also like a decoding 101 thing, and it takes you through a tool called Cyber Chef, where like what it says here, it's just you're decoding a lot of things. Like you're decoding what do you call hex, binary, all those different things. So it takes you through that. This one is it is say it's easy, and then obviously you're gonna get like stuck up by obstacles and stuff. So I like what Ryan just said in chat just now. Heavily recommend going on. I'm pretty sure he's done it, so that's why he's helped with that. But I haven't gotten the chance to do it yet, so yeah.
Yep.
Um,
One good thing about cyber is there's a lot of people out there that also want to learn, not even just KC7, even also here in RUSEC. So if you do have any questions, feel free to reach out and maybe someone can help you if you're stuck on some tough level.
Exactly. Yeah, we're the most helpful people on campus. Yeah, no, definitely.
True.
Like, yeah, true. Like Adam said, you guys feel free to reach out to anyone on eBoard. If you're following the Discord, like the people who have their names highlighted in pink, that's eBoard. Everyone is kind, everyone is so genuine. So please reach out. We always love to like answer you guys' questions. And even like even me, like I'm still kind of new. It's like really my first full year of being in cyber and like learning. So I still end up like having a I shoot Adam a text here and there. I shoot Ryan a text here and there. Even like the past alumni, I still talk to David a lot, Mark, and yeah. So definitely, it's like networking is such a big thing. I know cyber is kind of scarce in like curriculum and school bases, but like regarding like now because AI is being such a big thing and there's actually so much more demand for cybersecurity. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up, but ChatGPT just like few models just went rogue and they just started uh like pen testing like a company that like OpenAI is partnered with. Like it's crazy stuff going on in the world right now. So cyber is in demand and it may be scarce like at Rutgers, but definitely come by the club. Like we have so many helpful people. And okay, that just kind of sounded like the outro. I'm so sorry. We have one more thing to go over. Or well, I have one more thing to go over. Yeah, I'll do that real quickly. So picoCTF, like kind of like HacktheBox and OverTheWire, we have a lot of people in the club. Rhea, last year's president, she was really prominent on it. Ryan is very prominent on it. Like everyone is. This is so it was originally built by Carnegie Mellon, and it was to like practice challenges like CTF. So it's mainly like web exploits. So they kind of have you going through like HTML, like inspecting code on like a certain website and whatever, and I have done it a few times. I haven't gone too in depth into it because I do think like web exploits and like all the web hacking part of cyber, it's like it's very tough for me to wrap my head around. So I haven't spent too much time on it, but there's a lot of people I can point you guys towards if you're very interested in it. And I don't know if everyone who's been using Pico CTF a lot, like they know, but like it totally changed. So if I could show you guys this, yeah, everything just like totally changed. It looked so much more different. I think I was on it like around in March, and it's like it looked fine to me. I don't know, but yeah, I guess Carnegie Mellon just went through like a whole rebrand. Yeah, I don't know the behind the scenes, but like so. Usually in yeah, no, exactly, Maddox. Just as you said, this is a really big revamp. It's really cool. The difference is like you would have like these different challenges and like CTFs. Like it just go you through like you just click on one and you kind of like go through like what they have for you, like the different challenges and different stages of it. This is like it's kind of like hack the box now. I'll show you guys this. So like yeah, it has modules now, which is kind of crazy to me. Like I know like they were so technical and about it. Like there's still challenges definitely. Here, let me show you guys this. Uh, yeah. Oh, why can't I? Okay, it's probably just because my screen's minimized a little bit. Let me just. Okay, yeah. So like it has you go through a module, you read through it, and then yeah, you just keep clicking next, and then yeah, here you probably launch the instance here, and then you find the flag. So it became like hack the box. I don't know. I'd have to hopefully I'd like get the time to kind of look through and see what the differences are. Yeah, if any current member or anyone's really big on
Mhm.
Pico CTF and everything, like let us know like the differences with it. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I could tell, they're really focusing on the different paths. They did have those before in picoCTF. I know, I remember I was trying to get through a few of them, but they're
Hmm.
focusing more on the paths instead of the individual challenges. You can do individual challenges still, You just
Okay.
have to navigate.
All right. Yeah. Wait. Thank you, Adam, for that insight. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I had Brandon here too. He was gonna help me out with that too, but unfortunately he isn't here. So I wish. Yeah. Thank you for that assist, Adam. I really appreciate it. So yeah, but definitely check out picoCTF. Like again, they're beginner friendly, and as far as I know, even though they revamped in like the little time I've just been checking it around, I don't think there's anything paywall, anything subscription based. So yeah, you guys definitely feel free to check it out. Cool. So regarding those five, like I'd say that's the big five services and tools that we like that I have somewhat experience with, and that a lot of people in the club have been really focused in on, and have been doing it since they've joined or maybe even before, just to enhance their cyber capabilities and stuff. So these are just the five that we put down that get thrown around during our general meetings. We have general meetings that are centered around these services and websites. So I think, yeah, it's really great for you guys to know it. And again, like going back to the benefits of this gamified cyber platforms, like it's a fun way to learn. If you're bored with just throwing on a YouTube video and just taking notes, revising those notes, like active recall, all those studying methods. If you guys are bored of that, definitely check this out. And the benefit that comes with it is just that hands-on capability. Like you're doing stuff that is either very similar or like closely similar to stuff you were probably going to be doing in the real world at whatever company you guys decide to work at. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I heavily suggest you guys to make accounts and stuff. And regarding TryHackMe, with like I know I said it's like like heavily paywalled right now. I'd say if you guys like enjoy like that kind of concise yet descriptive, like straight to the point kind of content, definitely like kind of check out the YouTube. If you're not willing to pay for the subscription, I know I wasn't willing to last summer, so that's why I kind of like beat around the bush and just went on YouTube, watched people do it, and then take notes that way, and then it helped somewhat. But yeah, if you guys don't want to go through the hassle, definitely like there's other resources like you guys can, get ahead of the game and like study for Security Plus or anything. But if you're a truly beginner, you want to like dip your toes and like see if you want to swim over to the deep end, like yeah, I suggest these five to help out. And it's not like you guys should just focus on one set thing, like finish as much as you can and move on to other. I'd say like you do this in conjunction. What I kind of regretted was not doing Hack the Box as much when I had time to do it over the summer. I would definitely be able to like mitigate that part of like not being able to get the hands on stuff from TryHackMe. So I would heavily suggest you guys check that out. Do it simultaneously right before school starts. I know everyone's gonna get busy with their schoolwork and everything. So yeah, just feel free to do that. Yeah, and yeah, uh, again, thank you guys so much for joining me on this Thursday evening in your summer. I am very excited to see you guys next semester. Thank you guys so much. Oh, sorry. Does anyone have any questions or anyone wants to like add on something that I might have missed during this presentation? Feel free to like unmute yourself or just type in chat. Adam, do you have a question?
One thing I would like to say
Yeah.
about like TryHackMe, you do say it's paywalled, and I agree to a certain extent. There are certain modules available, but they also have events, like for example, the advent of cyber. That is a really good way to get your hands on in cyber. So whenever that happens, which is the start of December, stay
Okay.
tuned for that. All of that is open, so you don't have to worry about like getting a paywall. And they do have other events as well, and
Okay.
those typically are also free.
Yeah. Thank you for adding that on. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, everyone who's interested in TryHackMe, definitely keep an eye out on that. Yeah. So if there's no other questions or anything, everyone have a good night. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'm really excited for this upcoming semester. And yeah.